My name is Andre Dura, and I'm a attended business management major. And I'll be demonstrating how to find the individual regular and overtime pay, as well as the weekly regular and overtime payroll. To find the individual regular and overtime pay, we'll need to find the equation to do so. And for Excel, to start off any equation, you have to start with an equal sign. So in cell H2, we'll start with an equal sign. And to find the individual regular pay, all we're doing is multiplying the regular rate by the regular hours, which are found in set in columns C and E. So for the first box, we'll simply just take C2 and we'll multiply that by E2. In the sales algorithm, it will do the rest of the box for us. So we'll just click and drag the green box in this cell right here and just drag it completely down. As you can see, Excel just copied and pasted the formula and just brought it all the way down. And we can do the same thing to find the individual overtime pay. But instead, we're going to shift to the right. We're going to look at cells D and F. We're going to be looking at the overtime rate and the overtime hours. And we can simply just do the same thing. We're going to take the individual regular pay, find the green box in the cell, click and drag that over to the individual overtime pay and just drag and drop that completely down. Now that we have the individual regular and overtime pay, we can now work to find the weekly, regular, and overtime payroll. But to do so, we want to clean up this data. The data that was already supplied for us in A1 through F25, we want to sort it. So we'll highlight the complete data and we'll click data at the top of the screen and simply click sort. And how we'll like to sort this, we'll like to sort this by the week, smallest to largest. And after we do that, we want to add a level. We want to add a level and simply then after we do week smallest to largest, we want to do overtime hours, largest to smallest, just so that data is easier to comprehend and to read. So now we have 8 weeks, as we can see from the data. We have 8 weeks, so we're going to find the weekly, regular, and overtime payroll for each of those, for each week, 1 through 8. To do so, the same thing to find the individual, we're going to do to find the weekly. But instead of doing the individual, we're going to take everything from that week. So we're going to use the sum product equation this time. In array one, we're going to take everything in week one on the regular rate. So cells C2 through C4, and we're going to press comma. And that was just telling Excel to multiply that by what we highlight next, which is going to be the regular hours for week one. And then that would be the equation, and that's the weekly regular payroll. And we're going to do that for each week. That's week one. We're going to come down and now do week two. Equals sum product, type in the regular rate, and now highlight the regular hours. Now that we have all the data for weeks 1 through 8 for the regular payroll, we're going to come and do the same exact thing to find the weekly overtime payroll. And just like we did in the individual regular to overtime pay, we can do the same thing for the weekly regular to overtime payroll. It's just we can simply highlight the data we just made, find the green box, and slide it over in a cell window to automatically move the formula one equation over, one cell over. So now we have completely found the individual regular and overtime pay as well as the weekly regular and overtime payroll. Now we are going to come and build a chart so it'll be easier to look in graphs. To do so, we're going to add a filter in column J. You're going to come, click on column J, click data, and we're going to click filter. And with this filter, we want to emit out any blanks. This will chop the data, but the data is still there, it's just hidden. So to make it easier for us to read. So now we'll like to highlight the data in columns J and K, and we're going to come over and click Insert. Once we click Insert, we are going to find the stat column chart. We're going to click and drag this column chart to row column M, and we're just going to expand it so it'll be easier to look at. And we're going to name this chart Payroll by Week. And as you can see in this chart, it has every week 1 through 8, with the overtime pay being on top of the regular pay. And thank you for your time.